prayer is concerned, only a Jew is required to pray with other Jews together to form a Minyan. A non-Jew is not obligated to pray, but they should pray in their own words. They should pray in their own words. Whether they do it together or they do it by themselves doesn't really make a difference. There's no significance for them praying together like there is significance for Jews praying together, where when 10 Jews praying together, Hashem takes the best part of each one of those 10 people's prayers and makes it into one perfect prayer. That's in essence the point of praying in a minyan. Because when you pray by yourself, not the whole prayer had kavana. Hopefully at least a few minutes did. So when you pray by yourself, Hashem is going to look, okay, you prayed for let's say 20 minutes or 15 minutes, and He says out of that 15 minutes you really thought about God for a minute and a half. The rest of the time you thought about your bills, about the fact you have to buy groceries, about your wife, about your kids, about your shoes, about your boss, about the customer, about everything else except God. A minute and a half you thought about God. So that's not exactly the best prayer. When you go and you pray with a minyan and there's at least 10 kosher Jews there, they're also the same thing like you. They also prayed for a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So Hashem says, I'm going to take His 1 minute, His 30 seconds, His 4 seconds, His 3 minutes, all combine it into one. Now it's one big perfect prayer, and I'll accept all of their prayers. That's the benefit of praying with a kosher minyan. Pray by yourself, it's difficult because you have to have serious kavanah. Now, Goyim, the NOAHIDEs, on the other hand, do not have that. They don't benefit from each other, if you will, because number one, they're not required to pray. They should, but they're not required to pray. But furthermore than that, since they're not required, there's no significance of them doing it together. Should they do it together? Go ahead, do it together. But be very, very careful not to start a new religion. That's what happens sometimes. Noahides like the Torah a lot. They like Judaism a lot. But they don't want to convert, or they can't convert. Fine, that's not a problem. You don't have to convert. But you have to make sure you act like a Noahide. Don't act like a Jew. Why? Because if you're a Noahide and you keep Shabbat, that's not a mitzvah. That's a sin. It's called stealing. And one of the 7 Noahide laws is you're not allowed to steal. A Noahide that keeps Shabbat is not going to Gan Eden, because he's violating the Noahide laws. Now, are you allowed to have a nice dinner on Shabbat? Enjoy. Are you allowed not to work on Shabbat? You don't have to work. It's up to you. But don't not work because it's Shabbat. Don't not drive because it's Shabbat. Don't not, turn on the light because it's Shabbat. Don't not turn on the light because you don't feel like it. If you start keeping Shabbat like a Jew, as a Noahide, you have a very serious problem. And the Rambam says it's either that you're going to be considered a thief, or that you're starting a new religion. What's this new religion? It's a mix of Noahide and Judaism. And that's a violation of the Torah. And that's in essence what Christianity is.